Hello and welcome to the module Facilitate Your Teaching with OER. My name is Max Heber. I'm a member of the University of Konstanz Open Science team. This module was created by my colleague Hannah Schneider. What can you expect in this module? First, I will give you a definition of open educational resources so that you can identify the right materials when searching for them. Next, I will discuss the benefits for your research and teaching that come from using and creating open educational resources. After that, I will show you what open licenses are and how you can use them. Finally, with a focus on your practical teaching, I will show you good platforms and search options for free educational materials that you can use, for example in your teaching, presentation, or papers. So what are OER? OER stands for Open Educational Resources. According to the UNESCO definition, it means any type of educational material that are in the public domain or introduced with an open license. The nature of these open materials means that anyone can legally and freely copy, use, adapt, and reshare them. Open educational resources offer several advantages for your research and your teaching. First of all, using OER saves you time and money, which you can invest in other areas of your research or studies. In addition, you avoid copyright infringements by searching clear open licenses. When you create OER or update those of others, you increase your own visibility to others in your field. For example, if you update a prominent scientist's free slides on solar energy with new research, not only will the author become aware of you, but so will other researchers who can use your updated materials for their teaching. This can lead to new collaborations or open up new positions for you. Another advantage is that other people can also update and publish your materials again, thus balancing the effort of constant updates by involving multiple people. Of course, this requires an active community working collaboratively on materials. Above all, the idea of OER is that the knowledge of researchers, which are financed by taxpayers' money, is also freely available to everyone for teaching. All these advantages come with the condition that OER are published under an open license. Open licenses respect the copyright and grant the public the right to access, reuse, use for any purpose, edit and redistribute the materials. OER thus offer a legally secure way of dealing with teaching and learning materials. Additionally, the use of OER does not cost any money, in contrast to commercial infographics or textbooks that are expensive to buy. When using OER, you need to be aware of a few things, because free or open license does not mean that you can do what you want. To be on the safe side, always credit the author of the materials you use, as well as the associated license. In the best case scenario, you would also include the link to the original work. The illustration used here shows how this can look. All images in this module are licensed under an open license and have been adapted partly in terms of color and content. You will find the link to these images in the source index at the end of this presentation. In addition, all modules in this series are open educational materials and are under the open license CC BY 4.0. Best practices for attribution are included in the TASLL rule. It shows how to attribute materials correctly. The title of the work and the author should be indicated, as well as the original source, license, and link. Here, I have 3 tips for you. First, before using other people's educational materials, check the license under which they were published and what uses those licenses allow. Keep in mind that images and graphics are not always licensed under the same license as the rest of the content in a resource. Even materials that are published without a license statement, which means that the author reserves all rights, can still be cited. In this case, you can include text excerpts or illustrations in your own teaching materials, citing the author and the reference. Now, I've told you a lot about licenses in general, but what specific licenses are we talking about? One example are the CC licenses, which have become widely accepted, especially in the field of free educational materials and research. The name CC is derived from the non-profit organization Creative Commons, which offers ready-made license agreements for creators. This means that you don't need a lawyer to determine the terms and conditions for using your materials. Instead, you can rely on the prefabricated license agreements. The CC license agreements specify conditions under which other users may reuse materials. I already mentioned such conditions when defining free licenses. For CC licenses, they consist of a composition of the following modules. First, by. This allows the use redistribution only with attribution. The abbreviation NC means that these materials may only be used non-commercially. ND stands for no derivatives and indicates that no editing of the material is allowed. And SA stands for share alike and allows redistribution only under the same condition, meaning with the same license. For more information on CC licenses and their use, I recommend the module Legal Questions within this training series. If your head is now spinning from all of the licenses, we recommend using the CC licenses CC BY 4.0 and CC BY SA 4.0 for your OER. These allow you to reuse, repurpose, and combine content, and therefore open up all the advantages of open educational resources. Now you're well equipped to search for free educational materials, but where to start? What many people don't know is that in search engines you can activate a filter for open CC licenses, such as on Google, YouTube, or SoundCloud, which makes it easier to search for OER. So you can start with the platforms which you probably already know well and use a lot. Google includes a filter in its advanced search. The same way you can filter Google images by usage rights. Here you can see an example of how the Google image search looks like. Here you can click Tools and then filter them by usage rights. YouTube also has a filter option for CC licenses. And there is also a Creative Commons search engine for materials with Creative Commons licenses. In addition to that, there are several platforms specifically for OER. I have listed some of them here. First of all, you can browse the OER Commons search engine or the Mason OER Meta Finder. It searches 15 OER repositories simultaneously. The OERSI Open Educational Resources Search Index also includes several sources. There are also many regional OER platforms such as the Central OER Repository, CER, of the universities in Baden-Württemberg. And lastly, you can also browse through general repositories, for example the Zenodo Universal Repository from the European Open Air project. There, anyone can upload own materials of any topic. If you are looking for individual graphics, audio files or videos, I have put together a small collection for you here. Please check the license terms in each case, as some platforms use their own license agreements and do not just rely on CC. Examples for graphics are Pixabay, that is pixabay.com, Flickr, flickr.com, or the Wikipedia collection Public Domain Image Resources. Freely licensed audio files can be found at FMA, freemusicarchive.org, or SoundCloud, soundcloud.org. Other platforms are listed on the Creative Commons website. For videos, there is a rather small offer so far. As I said before, on YouTube, for example, you can use the Creative Commons filter setting to search for videos that you can reuse. For more details, here are the sources of the presented module as well as the image references. Thank you very much for your attention and for your participation in this module. I hope to have inspired you at least a little bit for the topic of OER. I wish you a lot of fun in using and creating your own open educational resources. Goodbye.